Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we'll be going over the Jandro feeder, pretty much in detail on how I selected all the parts, what parts are to be made, the code we pasted at the end, and there's a small section where I go over but all the way at the end of the video. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I really hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. Yeah. So first we have a stepper motor. This is an Arduino Pro Mini that I had it from another project with a 5-volt regulator, and I just decided to use it in this project. Thought it was pretty cool. Plastic bottle that I stole from my mom. Some small pieces of metal sheet. Okay, so here the first thing you want to do is you want to make like a 90-degree angle on this metal sheet. And what this is going to do is it's going to help us glue it to that plastic bottle. And the way that I did it is I used a small plier and try to do the width of the plier as a guide. And then you just bend it into place, and that's pretty much it. Just try not to cut yourself. Here, what you want to do next is, yep, that hurt. Basically glue it to the plastic bottle in a cross shape. So you apply the glue there, then you put it on the little plastic bottle using those red dots as a guide. And once again, it's hot glue, so it's kind of hot and it's gonna hurt a little. So yeah, basically just try to get as much glue as possible. From my experience, if you just do one single string like that and then you press it and then you kind of move it around, the glue just seems to dry quicker, and yeah, and it works, especially on yeah, that hurts. Especially on cardboard. Whoa, fast mode. Yeah, I got burnt there like 3 times. So yeah, but fast, slow, good. Fingers good. Yeah. So if you don't have a drill and you have a soldering iron, the best way to open a hole in a plastic is with heat, and that's how I did it to open the holes for the shaft. So I found the box outside and cut it up into these other pieces, and we're gonna build a box to cover this guy up, and that's where the food is gonna fall here. It's gonna spin, and then it's gonna fall here again, and so on. Okay, so here's the box fully assembled with the thing in the middle, and it spins pretty nicely. So yeah, let's put the motor on. So here, as you can see, the motor is just mounted on the side, glued to that piece of cardboard. And here's another look to it. It's pretty sturdy in there. Okay, so for this next hack, you're gonna need a dead 9-volt battery. And what I do is you basically lift the edges, and by lifting the edges, you're gonna remove those connections, right? And now you have an actual battery connection, but you have to be very careful how you do it. Now, something that I didn't mention before is if you're gonna create a connector like this, make sure that it's an alkaline 9-volt battery and not a lithium 9-volt battery, because the lithium ones, if you pierce them, you can create a fire. So make sure that it says alkaline on the outside. Yeah, so this here is basically me tinting the wires. So with that, makes it a lot easier to solder if you do that, and your project will go a lot smoother if you don't have to deal with not tinted wires. So pay attention to the polarity here. If you notice, it's backwards from how you would normally have it on the regular battery, because now the big connector is going to hold the little connector, which is the positive, and the little connector is going to go into the big connector, which is the negative. So just pay attention to that polarity and it should be good. Now we're going to solder it to the regulator, which is going to power the Arduino, and it's also going to provide power to the motor. Fast mode. So these two wires is just the wire extensions that provide power to the motor. And we're adding an on and off switch. Here we're breaking the wire. Remember, the on and off switch is just a series connection with a switch. And here I'll give you guys a little close-up action on the soldering. Little nice close-up. Attempting. This here is soldering the ground of the button to the ground of the 5-volt regulator. So this thing looks kind of wild right now, but with the magic of video editing, we're gonna make it look pretty. And yeah, we'll be back with a nice front thingy here, and then right there, this button is gonna be around here, and then that. So yeah, we'll be back. So if you guys have watched all the way to this point, thank you, and please subscribe. As you can see, this is kind of what we saw in the beginning of the video, and now let's test it out. So here we're gonna add food to the top. This is cat food. This is actually cat food. So the reason why some of it is falling is because the blades were not completely flush against the inside of the wall of the box. So once it gets filled up, it kind of stops. But at the beginning, some just falls. Here we're gonna do a first press. A ton of food goes out. And then the second press, another half a ton comes out. So this project has a ton of improvements to be made, but if you're looking to overfeed your cat, here you go. So this is the code here. So here we have our declaration of the pins. So in order to make it easier to read, you say pin 1, pin 2, pin 3, 4, and then button, and then you declare whatever buttons you want, what pins are going to go to the actual micro. Here we have clockwise offset and counterclockwise offset. This is to tune the motor in case the timing is not perfect. You can add a little bit more spin to it, and then to make it right, to get the right angle. Here we just have another variable there. So in Arduino, if you're familiar with Arduino, this is how you set the pin mode and what they're going to be. So pin 1 through 4, they're all going to be outputs, and then this is a button with an internal pull-up. Right. If you guys have any questions on this, just leave a comment. This is good if you don't want to use any hardware. So pretty much any micro will give you this option. Here's the loop. For this project, we're only using this function to be able to rotate in the clockwise direction, and here you can rotate it 360 degrees. So this parameter here it's in degrees, and this is basically the function that makes that happen.
¿Puedo pasar para allá?